恭敬而为此方会一切众生尽转妙法轮教导我们如何了生我是离苦的有数将我的生 Will the sun come with the of compassion, for the sake of Jesus, then we and all he believes, return the winter of God will. To Jesus, how gracious suffering, and attendance, and everlasting death, and believe not slumber. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Namo Sadanto Suchedoye Olahadi Samyao Samputoshe. 大家一起无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。I'll give you a line and you give it back. Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 阿弥陀佛，师父上人，各位师兄，大家阿弥陀佛。Venerable Master, Dharma friends, welcome to our sutra lecture tonight. Cheng Wei Hua, can you click OK, please? I need that real estate. Okay, we're sharing our screen. That's excellent. Good evening, everybody. Today is Sunday, the 1st of June, here in Ukiah, California, at the City of 10,000 Buddhas. Our class is the Avatamsaka Sutras chapter on the 10 dedications, the 10 transferences. We have come to the verses part of the 8th transference, and I'm delighted to be live here at CDDB. Usually I come in over Zoom, but today we're all here together, and folks are listening from around the world. We have 87 participants online, and we'll find out where they're from in just a moment. 就说欢迎各位参加我叫亨氏，今天是星期天晚上6月初1，我人在万福圣城万福大殿万福殿里边了，就大家一起研究华严经的十回向品，所以呢欢迎各位参加了亲自能到了就是圣城了哈。本来大家都会看到我在 Zoom 上的软体，那今天就露面了我们大家一起研究了哈。Okay, so let us put our palms together. We will invite the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to join. 我们就大家合掌，我们一起殷请华严海会佛菩萨来光临。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。南无大方广佛华严经， 华严海会佛菩萨南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩，最后一次，再来。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。Sounds good. Homage to the Buddha's Flower Garland Sutra, its great expanded teachings, and the ocean-wide flower garland gathering of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay. We respectfully acknowledge the Pomo people as traditional storytellers and custodians of the land where our monastery is located. Pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 这是我们恭敬承认Pomo人是我们寺院所在地的传统续世者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬。并且向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Okay. I don't have my bell with me. Can you all imagine a bell? Ting. The bells sound wide, resound, ting, throughout 100 million worlds. Everybody say, ting. The Buddha's law is heard and spread. Ting, all throughout the triple world, you can visualize, huh? The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000界内，佛法扬恩义共充。共训其法界和平，利益把贪往后的。Okay, those are our protocols before we get started. How do you like this? Pretty awesome. Looking good. By the way, if there are more, let's see, pretty much that side is full. I'm going to tell folks in the back that if you want to see better, don't hesitate coming forward. This is a class, and we find a seat that we like. 请各位如果坐得太远，可以往近一点，这里还有位子啊。All right. Today is a special day at City of 10,000 Buddhas. This is the 30th Memorial Day for the passing of our teacher. It's entering Nirvana, and it's the conclusion of a full weekend of events that we had here. Lots of new faces. Yesterday morning, there was a tour of City of 10,000 Buddhas that was advertised in a front page story of the Ukiah Daily Journal. And there were a dozen, not quite a dozen, people who did come out based on that article. And there was about 150 people who toured the city, saw the girls' school, saw the boys' school, saw the university, walked around. And now, because of these events, had a feeling that this is a place that welcomes them. So they will have another reason to come in through the mountain gate or through the gateway and discover the premier Mahayana monastery in the West on their own, which is a good thing. 我们这个周末呢就很特别，因为今天我们就是昨天今天就认识我们上人30年前就入涅槃。那么这2天的活动呢是欢迎很多人呢新来的人 因为我们附近的报纸那个 Ukiah Daily Journal 登了这个那个封面的，就是我们的故事，就说除了这个菜馆，除了菌康之外，还有东西在里边呢，欢迎大家了。所以呢，昨天早上呢，就有150个人就在大山门集合，年轻的法师们给他们带走，看看就说各地大殿女校、男校、法界大学还有各地，所以有几个就是 Ukiah Valley 的新的朋友们，以后他们会觉得，哎，那个地方会欢迎我们，我们再来研究佛法，这样子，所以也很好，很好的事。Okay, so tonight, by golly, let's see here. We have, let's see, people request me to turn on my camera. Good point. I forgot to do that. Here we go. Let's see. And my background is blurred. Look at those lights. Who's that? Yeah. Those lights are very bright. Okay. You can make me, you can, what you say, focus on my screen. Okay. Spotlight me. There you go. Okay. Tell them that I've turned my camera on. Here we go. Oh. There we go. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Now, how do I want to share my screen, but just not that. Can I get rid of that? What have I done? Here, let's see. You are screen sharing, but I don't want to share my face. Let's see here. Is that me? Where's our Zoom expert, Cheng Wei Hua? I shouldn't have done that. I don't want to do full screen of me. I want people to, I know. I will unshare, remove spotlight. Can you take me out of the spotlight? Let's see, there we go. Okay, remove spotlight. There we go. Now, share my screen and I go here. Application windows, there we go. Hold shift to select multiple windows. Okay, there we go. Shift, click, 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 share. Okay.
And
now,
turn is off original sound. Yeah.
okay, we're back. There we go. Hold up. They can see me. Say again. Okay, hold up. Here is today's text. Now, people who have been faithfully attending this class week after week know that we have been including, there we go. We've been including not only our BTTS translation, which is here on the right side, but we have also been including this book. Can you all take a look at me now? This thing right here. This is Heng Sure Fashi Kalavinka Publishing. His name is Dhammamitra. This is pen name. Heng Sure Fashi's complete translation of the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's quite an accomplishment because other than Heng Sure Fashi, there is only one other complete translation of the Avatamsaka Sutra from chapter 1 to chapter 40. He's done the whole thing. And if anybody is in English, that's the point. It's a complete English translation. The camera can see it. There it is. Complete English translation of the Avatamsaka Sutra in 3 volumes. It is many, many pages long. But Heng Sure Fashi is Shifu's disciple from the very beginning. He is one of the first 5, you know, the famous 5 Americans who took refuge, including Dharma Master Chur and Bhikshuni Heng Yi and Heng Qian and Heng Jing, and Heng Sure. Those are the 5 with Heng Sure. So he has been extremely diligent up in Seattle and has been translating. So I want to tell you now, just a minute, see if we can do this safely here. Hold on. Okay, this is my browser. I'm going to go out to our BTTS translations. Does everybody know what that is? You should know by now. It's called BuddhistTexts.org. Buddhist texts, Buddhist 2 T's, BuddhistTexts.org. Okay, who is that? That's Buddhist Text Translation Society. That's us. This is Shifu's Bao. Shifu's Bao's come to life. Yeah, thank you. Okay, now I want to show you something special, which is, you go down here, let's see here, translation. Avatamsaka Sutra, joining translation, bookstore. I have to find it much. Here, right here. Bookstore, English, Kalabinka Press Books. Right there. Everybody see it? 你们大家都看到吗？英文的整个华严经就从头到尾翻译完了。Check. Here it is, right there. This is Bhikshu Heng Shu's life work here. And he is still turning out these texts. Okay, here it is, the Flower Adornment Sutra, annotated translation of the Avatamsaka Sutra in 3 volumes, 2,500 pages. 3 volumes. This is one of them. So I brought this because why? It has the 10 Transferences chapter in it. So here it is. And you, all of you, should you wish to do so, can acquire one of these sets. Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. They are buyable from Amazon. That's where they are right there. If anybody wants a complete translation, Bhikshu Heng Sure passed them over to BTTS. He said, I don't want to be muted. You can go out to our website and find them here, and that will direct you to Amazon where you can buy them. So just to let you know, we have been checking our current translation with Bhikshu Heng Shu's translation as we go. And having 2 English versions is really helpful because it gives you a whole new perspective on the choices of language. And this is all about language. Okay, are we ready? 准备好了吗？就说恒寿法师翻译的整个华严经都可以在我们的网站。Do we need those? Can we do without those lights? Somebody just turn them on. 可以关掉吗？需要吗？ Whoever, yeah, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. Turn them off, please. The screen is better without them. Okay, did somebody feel we need them? 需要吗？如果需要就说了，不需要就关掉了啊。好 ，OK， so 就说恒寿法师翻译的华严经都可以请整个一套3本3册一套Okay, are we ready, everybody? Your answer is, Basher, we are ready. Are we ready? Yes, I like that. Good, okay. Okay, 请各位合掌。I'll give you a line, you give it back. 佛子，是为菩萨摩诃萨，以一切善根，顺真如相为相。Okay, good stuff. Okay, shall we read it together? Just follow my voice and I'll start you. And then, now, you need to remember, the punctuation is our friend. The punctuation is a signal for how to read it. So that exclamation mark, you can raise your voice a little bit. It's the Buddha saying, pay attention, right? Then we come down, there's no other punctuation until we get to the end. So we'll just read carefully along together. All right, are we ready? Here we go. Disciples of the Buddha, this is the dedication of all good roots on the part of bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, in accordance with the attributes of true thusness. I prefer suchness. Thusness doesn't mean anything to me. Suchness is equally obscure, but Zhenru, this word Zhenru, means the holy, the sacred. It means the Buddha nature or the Fa Xing, the Dharma nature. Zhenru Xing. It means the Puti Xin, right? The Puti Nieppan, the Jingje, that is Zhenru, Bodhi Nirvana, all different names for the same thing. When we wake up, this is what we wake up to. Okay? 就说真如相就是这个第8回向的名字真如相回向。那个真如怎么翻呢？怎么懂呢？怎么了解？真如是一个名字是说佛性，就是各位你们每一位内在的这个佛性也可以说是法性，一切万法的法性也是真如，不同的名字，也可以说是菩提涅槃，就是最高最深的境界。我们正果的时候，果正的就是这个真如性。Okay, now, excuse me, I'm going to set my microphone down and pick up the book. Hold on. Bhikshu Heng Sure says, sons of the Buddha, this is the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva's dedication of all roots of goodness in accord with the character of true suchness. Okay, why is it helpful to have another look at it? Because look, dedication of all good roots. So what's a good root? Are we planting trees? Are we planting carrots? So he says, roots of goodness. So roots of goodness is not a thing, it's a quality of character, right? So your roots of goodness, that means the place where all of your good qualities grow, your kindness, your insight, your creativity, your sense of humor, your sense of right and wrong. Those are all roots of goodness. If we simply say shan, gun, good roots, it sounds very much like we're talking about things that go in the ground. And it's, of course, a biyu, it's an analogy, but still, if we can say roots of goodness, we don't have to struggle with translating it out of good roots. The problem is, if we just translate Chinglish, shan, gun, good roots, we kind of just hear it and we turn a deaf ear to it. We no longer hear what we're saying. It's just, oh, you know, that's Buddhist language, right? But if we say roots of goodness, I've also heard another translation, wholesome qualities. The goodness in you, the best parts of your nature, okay? So this is important to translate. 那么中国人听到就是佛教徒听到善根怎么想呢？不知道了就是佛教的用语听了多，我们就这个根呢是树的根部吗？或者呢苗在那个稻田呢种下的这个麦子的，或者那个大米的这个苗是什么呢？不是这么就是一个具体的东西的。这是什么呢？就是你我根性里边的最好的地方，你的慈悲你的这个就是智慧你的创造性你的想象力你的预谋感等等，这就是人品性里边最好的地方，都是善根。所以我们翻译 roots。那恐怕大家都会想到树根 或者什么呢？是一个比喻，所以翻译重要。Okay, and 师父, as he explained these to us, he really wanted us to come to grips with these words. Don't just read them or recite them. Many people, when they get the Avatamsaka Sutra, just recite it. They just read it along. They don't engage their minds. And there's a lot of goodness to do that helps us tremendously. But it's so much better if we can ask ourselves, what's the Buddha trying to communicate here? What does this language mean? For sure, it is meaningful. But when we think about it, what is it talking about in my own life? That's where the power is. Okay? 我们可以念华严经很大的好处啊，就会慢慢的增长智慧。可是呢，师父呢，他都会讲完了，他就说谁有什么问题没有啊？你们如果不问的话，我就会问你们，你们懂不懂这个意思啊？念就说好像念经念诵也有好处，不过你能了解这什么意思呢？那这个好处真的发生作用。Okay, so you understand. Here we go. Next one. Are we ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Yes, we are. All right. 20金刚创菩萨成佛为力，普观十方，耳说颂言。Together, at that time, Vajrabhana Bodhisattva, comma, take a breath, aided by the Buddha's awe-inspiring powers and contemplating everything in the 10 directions, spoke in verse. Okay, let's see what Heng Sure said about that. At that time, aided by the Buddha's awesome powers, Vajrabhana Bodhisattva surveyed the 10 directions and then spoke these verses. Okay, if this were my translation, I would say chanted. Chanted. Verses are not spoken. I mean, they are, but they're meant to be chanted in a meter. They go bum ba bum ba bum bum bum. Why? Because that connects to our heartbeat and it's easy to remember. Much easier to memorize when you go bum ba ba bum 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 ba bum. These were sung. They weren't simply spoken. So I'm sure, and people say that the verses came first and then people elaborated the prose after that. So that's an interesting theory. But there's a reason why these are metered. 7 characters. Sometimes they're 5, but this is 7. So a song is to be sung, right? 我觉得这不是单单说而已，这应该是唱诵的，应该有个调子一定有它的节拍，bum ba bum ba bum bum bum， 7个字，有的时候5个字就是7个字一个寄送。那么为什么要唱诵呢？因为容易记得那个就跟你的心脏有关系的，bum bum bum bum。你就可以感觉到你心是最早最原始的一个鼓，嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣。什么时候把外边的文字跟里边的这个鼓这个 drum 就连接起来了，那就很容易的就把这个佛经就背到心里。Okay, so at times when we've been going through these, we've actually sung. We give it a melody. Sometimes it's more successful than other times. Sometimes it's not successful at all. So not everybody thinks that's a good experience. But so let's see if we can. Let's try it. Let's see how it goes. You know, when we do it, how about the Ba Shi Ba Fu? Right? We already know the melody. Let's try the Ba Shi Ba Fu melody for this. Ready? Da, pu. Ready? 菩萨只要常安住，正念坚固力持活，其心善然恒清凉，积极无边功德行。It ended at the last word. Okay, so interesting, huh? 菩萨只要常安住，正念坚固力持活，其心善然恒清凉，积极无边功德行。Okay, now this is pronounced hung, not xing, so practices. That's why I have an issue with this translation. Now, when it comes to the English, we can't do it that way because English is what's called lyrical. It's not percussive. Percussion is like that, like a drum, okay? English is not. English is bodhisattvas aspire to abide in peace at all times. Their right mindfulness is steadfast, free from ignorance and delusion. With a kind, gentle, and ever tranquil heart, they amass limitless meritorious practices. Okay? It doesn't go bump, bump, bump at all. English is very different. There's different emphases. So we have to, if we're going to sing or chant the English, we need a real tunesmith who can do it. And that's not me. I've tried multiple times and sort of. There's we have a good Dharma friend whose name is Father Cyprian Concilio. He's a Benedictine monk from California, and he is a composer. He's an expert in Roman Catholic music and liturgy and ceremonies. And he has what are called chant tones. And they're, one example would be something like this. I'm not going to, I'll just give you a taste of it to see where we're going with this. And the point of it is to help us remember, okay? To help us remember. He goes, Bodhisattvas aspire to abide in peace at all times. Their right mindfulness is steadfast, free from ignorance and delusion. With a kind, gentle, and ever tranquil heart, they amass limitless meritorious conduct practices, right? Something like that. And it just gives you a little melody that is elastic. You can fit many syllables in it. So look at how many syllables in line 2. It's not bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. It's their right mindfulness is steadfast, free from ignorance and delusion. Now that's hard to meter. You can't make that bump the right number of times. So we need a different format if we're going to chant. So, and these are all what? Fang bian fa. These are all expedient means so that we can bring the sutra to life and make it ours. It's not just words on some page in a book behind a glass case where that we bow to, right? This text is a bodhisattva's mind. We get to look inside the mind of a bodhisattva as he or she is busy dedicating merit. So, I mean, this is magical stuff. This is how real bodhisattvas think and act, okay? And we can learn it. It's right here for us to pick up, free of charge. You don't pay a penny to investigate the Avatamsaka Sutra. How wonderful is that? It's just that people largely are afraid. They're afraid of the sutra. They say, oh, it's too philosophical. It's all philosophy. Tai Gao. It's too lofty. Nobody understands it. Or they say too much Sanskrit. Nobody understands it. 不要讲. Don't lecture it, right? Or they say, oh, that's just an old book. This is 末法时代, Dharma ending age. Don't cultivate. It's a waste of time. Nobody becomes a Buddha, right? We've heard all these excuses. You know what else they say? Truly, they say, oh, be careful. If you explain a single word wrong, you can fall into the hells. If the Buddha was that cruel, who would ever recite a sutra? Who would explain a sutra, right? So that's just ridiculous. Those are principles from people who don't want to do what we're doing every Sunday night, looking into the Avatamsaka Sutra. So 就说这都是方便法那么没有一个对，一个不对，就说都是方法让这个华严经活起来，就可以把它送到自己心里边去了那么没有错，是书本上的几个字。那个书放在一个柜子里边了，一个玻璃门呢，你把它关上，然后用很漂亮的一块布盖上，不要碰它了。你可以礼拜它，不要碰它了很多人就是这样子，尊重华严经，从来没有打开过华严经，何况研究了甚至于有人怕了，就这样说。他们说：“哎，华严经，佛教最高的哲学，没人懂，所以不要讲有的人就说：哎，梵文太多了大家看不懂，所以呢，不要讲。有的人说：哎呀，讲错一句会下地狱，不要讲，危险。你们觉得佛是这么残忍吗？哇，不另外的，哇，哈哈哈哈！不会，佛陀不是这样子有的人就说末法时代不要讲，不必了不对了，甚至于不对了，这都是借口。大家不愿意增长自己的智慧，所以玄法上人，我们的师父就说放大光明，照破这些借口，说华严经是你们每天每天，我们每天每天要看的一面镜子，就会反映到我们自己本来面目真正的样子。所有的习气毛病跟菩萨比较起来，都照出来很清楚，给你机会改所有的善功德都会就说就会现出来了，鼓励大家继续增长，right？ So 师父set this light out and said the Avatamsaka Sutra is too important. This is a wonderful, wonderful mirror that we look into and see our true face. He said, this is what this does. Oh, there we go. Look at CTV background. What this does is it gives us the true reflection of all our bad habits and faults. Now, why do we want to see those? Because it also inspires us, compared to the Bodhisattva, to get in there and clean it up. And it gives us encouragement to do it. This is a demon spotting mirror, 照魔镜子. It's also a 照菩萨镜子. You can see bodhisattvas and compare ourselves. How wonderful is that? So, if it wasn't for Shifu, how many of us would have picked up the Avatamsaka Sutra in this lifetime? I really don't know. I wouldn't have heard the name of it, right? So here we are looking into the mind of a bodhisattva. Bodhisattva 菩萨怎么样？我们可以看到菩萨的心。菩萨只要常安住，就说他的愿力正念坚固离痴惑，他的正念就是要度众生就就说不自私不自利，正念其心善软，很清凉，他会住在最硬的地方，他呢就用他的善软的心来度化。所以不好住的地方，好比说旧金山的 Mission District，好比说洛杉矶 Sixth Street，好比说西雅图这个Skid Row，还有温哥华East Hastings Street 最难语的地方，他就把那个地方建立道场就放大光明，积济无边功德横就我们已经到第8回向，所以很多很多的这个回向的比喻。So bodhisattvas aspire to abide in peace at all times. Yes, indeed. That's the way they appear in the world. Their right mindfulness is steadfast, free from ignorance and delusion. This is Zheng Nian, right mindfulness, I guess. So they're proper thoughts. What are they? Things like unselfish behavior, wanting to share every good thing with others. Boy, if you do that, you know what the world calls you? A loser. But in the eyes of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, this is what wholesome disciples of the Buddha are best at. With a kind, gentle, and ever tranquil heart, they amass limitless meritorious practices, not conduct. We're not using that word anymore. So my point for this, here it said, Shan Ran, wholesome and soft, and pure and clear, constantly pure and clear mind. Where is that helpful? Well, if we look at what our teacher did, when he came to San Francisco, he set up the Buddhist lecture hall in a bunch of different places, but the one that he shifted to Gold Mountain, and he put that in the Mission District in 15th Street. And the Mission District is San Francisco's oldest neighborhood. We were directly across from the projects where people shot each other, knifed each other, cheated each other, buying and selling drugs, buying and selling people, all kinds of, the police were at the projects every single night. We had people murdered right outside Gold Mountain on multiple occasions. That's where Shifu set Gold Mountain Monastery. Los Angeles, 6th Street, the heart of the cancer of LA. I won't tell you what I saw outside the window at 6th Street Gold Wheel Monastery in LA. Summit in Gold Summit Monastery in Seattle was in Skid Row, legendary place where sailors got out of their ships when they made port in Seattle and stayed drunk for a week and wound up on Skid Row. That's where the Wintonia Hotel, our first Gold Summit, was established. And then the most remarkable of all, perhaps, was Gold Buddha in the old Salvation Army building on East Hastings Street. How bad was the situation on East Hastings Street? The Vancouver Sun had a 3-week series called The Battle for East Hastings, which was right outside our door. This was the center of the drug culture in Vancouver, and they had lots of what are called SROs, single room occupancy hotel rooms. These landlords would take a hotel room and divide it into 3 rooms so that drug users could go up and inject themselves in a small little closet and then die. They pulled dead bodies out of these SROs day after day after day. This is where Shifu put the pure monastery, Gold Buddha, and he was kind and gentle and ever tranquil. He abided, he wanted us to abide in peace at all times, right where the pain was the worst, in America and in Canada. So interesting when you look at that, right? Now, we are sitting in City of 10,000 Buddhas, which is what? A mental hospital for the criminally insane. Same thing, right? Places that nobody wants, like, well, if you have to go to a hospital, this is the place to go. If you're mentally ill and you commit a crime, there has to be somewhere, right? But just like water, Shifu flows to the place where other people don't dare go and benefits all living beings. 就说就像水，上人把我们万佛城放在这个神经病的医院里边，而且呢是一个监狱，不但有精神上有毛病了，而且你犯罪了，就在这个地方建立一个清净的道场，利益一切人。所以你看，真的发菩萨心肠不容易，不容易啊。Okay, so with that in mind, look at what bodhisattvas do. Okay, are we ready? Palms together, please. I'll give you a line. 菩萨千顺无为逆，你们说，菩萨千顺无为逆，所有志愿悉清净，所有志愿悉清净，以德智慧大光明，以德智慧大光明，善能照耀一切业。 安能照亮一切业 kind of lower there. Okay, good. All right. Let's just read it together. We won't try to sing this yet. We'll get a tune later. Here we go. Ready? Humble, compliant, and free of contention, bodhisattvas purify all their resolves and vows. Having attained the great radiance of wisdom, they completely illuminate all karma. Okay, I didn't read Heng Sure for the last time. Okay, here's his first verse. We can compare, okay? The bodhisattva's determination is always securely abiding, and his right mindfulness is steadfast and free of delusions. His mind is virtuous, pliant, constantly clear and cool, as he accumulates practices, creating boundless, meritorious qualities. Yeah. Okay, there it is. The Bodhisattva's determination, securely abiding. So Heng Sure interpreted that the Zhiyuan was the thing that abides in peace at all times. It's not that they aspire to abide, right? Different. Further, right mindfulness, steadfast, free from delusions. Yep, same. His mind is virtuous, pliant, constantly clear and cool. He said mind instead of heart. You just pick one. Shin, is it heart? Is it mind? Yes, he answered. And then he accumulates practices, creating boundless, meritorious qualities. There we go. I said Shangan can be meritorious qualities. There it is, right there. Okay, now let's look at Heng Sure's second one. He said, the Bodhisattva is humble, compliant, free of contrariness, and all his aspirations are pure. He has already acquired the great light of wisdom, and he is well able to completely illuminate all karmic actions. Okay, this is going to be interesting as we dig into this one. Let's take a look. All right. The Bodhisattva is humble, compliant, free of contrariness. 菩萨他的就说品德，他的根性就很谦顺，就说没有不骄傲他没有不摆架子谦顺无畏逆，结果呢就不争，到任何情形他就让而不争，结果无畏逆。没有人愿意跟他争，因为他不争与世无争。然后呢所有志愿悉清净，怎么会志愿清净呢？可能生生世世都在发了。志愿就说他的誓愿，他的愿力这是比较应该说很深入的。这个let me explain this in English first so I can think about what I want to say about this. We'll switch over to English for this. So if we follow Master Hua's 6 guidelines, we know the first one is not fighting, right? No contention, no pointless competition to be number one. So here's the Bodhisattva who's humble, compliant, free from contention. And as they say, if you don't have an attitude of competing with the world, nobody will fight with you. People don't, if they know that you're no fun, you're not going to give them pushback, then they'll go to someone else to struggle with. And your life is free from contention, free from affliction. Bodhisattvas purify their resolves and vows. He says, their aspirations are pure. This is a mysterious thing. There was a time at Gold Mountain Monastery when Shifu was explaining the Avatamsaka, when just out of the blue, a bhikshu or a bhikshuni would, at the end of the lecture, get a stick of incense, walk around Shifu's Dharma seat 3 times, bow and say, I, disciple Guopu, wish to make the following vows. And then seemingly from a deep, deep memory, or almost like a dream, they would say, I vow that in lifetimes after lifetime, I will, and then we would get to hear these incredible aspirations. And we would ask, where did these vows come from? And the answer would be, I don't know. I was just moved to do it. It just seemed to be the right thing to do. And then Shifu would go, what do y'all think? Can they do those things? And sometimes people would go, yeah, I hope so. Sometimes people would say, sorry, impossible. Nope. You just want to make a big vow. Yeah, you're hoping we all listen and get impressed, right? Sometimes it would be like that you could hear in the person's voice that it wasn't first thought, it was second thought, sort of, right? But other times, Shifu would just say, all right, try your best. Try your best. So where do those vows come from? Bodhisattvas purify all their resolves and vows. That hasn't happened recently because maybe you have to have something like a good and wise advisor like Shifu. And occasionally you would just hear that this vow was from consciousness. It wasn't from their nature. There's a difference, and it's funny how that works. So I just bring that up. Certainly my pilgrimage was that same way. And I suspect that the first 3 steps from vow was the same. It just, now is the time. And it comes up. And after I told Shifu I wanted to do that, he said, well, your Dharma protector isn't here yet, so wait, he said. And then when the other monk showed up, and he was a layman at the time, we announced to Shifu we wanted to do it. And Shifu looked at Heng Sure and said, okay, this time you're the Dharma protector, all right? And we said, Shifu, this time? No, never mind, too much false thinking. Just go ahead. You be quiet, he said. Can I be silent, Shifu? Yes. So somehow these things emerge at the right time. Strange how this works. Bodhisattvas purify their resolves and vows. How does it work? No idea. No idea, but it sure is mysterious. 就说, oh, there we go. 就说所有志愿悉清净，在金山寺那个时候，因为大要是因为善知识的光明照亮就说无缘故就说好像到底不清楚是怎么来的，就会有一位比丘、一位比丘尼拿一支香，就绕佛三匝，在大众前跪下来，拜3拜，跪下来说，在师父，在诸佛菩萨面前，在师父面前，在大众面前，弟子国某要发如此这个愿力，然后呢，就会说出自己很奇妙的一些愿力，说我发愿生生世世都出了家，跟随上身下化老和尚做出家众，随众就说翻译经典，或者护持道场什么什么，就自己的愿力有的时候师父听到了，他就说：你们各位觉得怎么样？这个人会成功吗？这个愿是可以成就吗？然后大家不知道，师父听起来很奇妙好try your best，师父就会说了。有的时候师父就说：嘿，那个太不实际的。他说：你是不是愿意我们赞叹你的大愿呢？不一定接受人的愿力因为你可以听得出，有的时候这些愿是中文就说虚无缥缈，太像虚空或者就是二念，希望大家会赞叹说这是一个大菩萨，也会有这种的这些的反应了那么这些愿呢，都是这么奇妙，是从实心来的，是从真的时间到了，上帝涌出来这些愿的苗出来，也有奇妙。 所以菩萨志愿悉清净。Okay, let's look at that third line. 以得智慧大光明，善能照耀一切业。智慧像光明似的，光明照耀就破除黑暗，你会看东西看得清楚了。所以照亮一切业，知道哦，我这样做了，应该再三考虑，不要就被夜风吹的到这个样子的，以后一定要改就会有这种，或者呢，就是说，哎，这样子是我不但自己要做一点好事，我要鼓励其他人做大的好事，我们一起做，向前进，这样子。所以照料一切业呢，最好的方法呢，把六大宗旨拿出来。六大宗旨呢，如果心里起来一个念头了，说哎我要这样做了，你说里边有没有真心，有没有贪求自私自利妄语？如果没有的话，那你说加油加油加力向前进这样子，因为没有烦恼没有那个烦恼的种子在里边。这六大宗旨就是烦恼，就是失败的种子如果有的话，你就说哦，慢一步就patience gotta have patience，不要这样子做，因为做的可能会碰钉子就不成功了这样子。所以照耀一切业就是这样子。智慧这个六大宗旨是智慧的一个手电筒你就照亮，你就知道哦，这样做的恐怕不做了，改天再说了，现在不动了，无动于衷就好。So slipping over here, having attained the great radiance of wisdom, they completely illuminate karma. Okay, how are we going to explain this one? The great radiance of wisdom. What is the light of wisdom? When the light of wisdom shines, the darkness of ignorance goes away, right? You can see. In the dark, you can't. If you have light, like a torch, in Australia, flashlights are called torches. So if you have a torch, you can see, where in the dark before it was, you could bump into something and break your leg. So what is the light of wisdom? Well, for example, how about the 6 guidelines? Those 6 guidelines function like wisdom because why? If you have an idea, oh, I just had a thought, you use the flashlight, the torch of the 6 guidelines and say, let me examine this impulse. Is there any contention in it? Is it greedy? Is it seeking? Is it selfish? Is it all for me? Is it dishonest? If the answer is no, go do it. Illuminate good karma. If you do have any of those 6 problems in this impulse, then what's going to happen? Trouble down the road. It's going to be afflicted because you've got fighting, greed, seeking, selfishness, etc. And it's not going to work out for you, right? That's the radiance of wisdom illuminating karma before we do it. So what do? You pause. You say, oh, no, patience, bad idea. I got enough trouble. Let this one go. Safe. Right? So karma, wisdom sometimes illuminates karma before it happens. Right? 这个智慧的光明有的时候照亮还没有做的业，所以呢，你可以避免，你不会另外造。All right? Okay. Now, we looked at Heng Shure's, yeah. They are well able to completely illuminate all karmic actions. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you all for sticking with me. I really enjoy looking at the Avatamsaka with everybody. And it's having your light here. And let's see, there's 129 of us online tonight joining in. Let's see, we've got friends from, where's everybody from? Wow, Jin Yongshi is here a lot. Jin Yongshi, Amitofo. We got him in person too. That's good. Okay, where else? We have friends from HQ, Hong Chanshi here. We have friends from Washington, okay, Vancouver, San Jose, Shanghai, Redwood Valley, Hong Kong, Sunnyvale, Ukiah, Taipei, Calgary, Portland, Heilongjiang. Where else? Here, Montreal, Singapore, Ukiah, Seattle, Cupertino, Dublin, Ohio. Gwen is here. Alameda, okay, Oregon, Jan is here. Let's see here. Guojian is here. Seattle, Ukiah. Jin Rosher's online. Amitofo. Ukiah. Where else? San Francisco, Saratoga, LA, San Jose, Mesa, Arizona, etc., etc. 很多地方. Terry is online. These are the regulars. Appreciate everybody tuning in while we're here at CTTB. 然后呢，我们就改到亚洲那里。有 Pleiku、Vietnam、马来西亚、台北、新加坡、北京、内蒙古包头市Mountain View、上海哈尔滨，还有什么地方？辽宁、朝阳北叶之乐 sea， 台湾台北好的，黑龙江唐山、湖北、天津辽宁、深圳。你们大家可以数一数，是不是东北最多看看内蒙古包头、辽宁大连、安徽、北京、天津let's see here， 湖南、西安、黑龙江、北京安徽、苏州，哪里？浙江蓝海还有新北市陕西宝鸡。福建泉州、吉林也是东北，安徽淮南市，安徽淮南市张家口河北，苏州包头山东黑龙江北京，湖北黄冈，河北唐山，哇，那么多，江苏镇江中国河南包头深圳还有广州、哈尔滨。浙江南京、海南就是海南岛，大安、黑龙江、加拿大不是中国，哈尔滨、吉林、辽宁、山东、深圳、黑龙江、洛阳、台北市、江苏 and 河南，是不是东北最多嘛？你们觉得是不是因为是不是东北人也应该有的吧？不过就说东北人呢，佛根呢很深的。Okay, so that's terrific. Thank you all for coming. We've got another story. Let's see here. I know there are people who tune in especially for the stories of Master Xuanzang, so we don't want to disappoint you. We are here in part 3 of the life of Xuanzang, and he's in a place called Kanyak Kubja. He has reached India. He is very close to his destination, which is Nalanda. Okay. So he's in a place called Ayodhya with 100 monasteries, several thousand monks. 玄奘大师到了印度还没有到那兰陀大学，靠近Ayodhya 100所道场，还有几千个出家众。Okay, let's take a look. Here we go. 哎呀，太大了。There we are. 大乘中有部伽蓝，是法苏潘陀菩萨就是唐年世亲于此至大小圣论即为众讲处城西北4-5里临金界河岸 Ganges River 旁边，大伽蓝中有苏堵波高200余尺，无有王所见，佛须3月说法处，其旁又有过去4佛进行处。就是我们上个礼拜也读过了。We looked at this one last week. We'll start here. In the capital was an old monastery where Vasubandhu Bodhisattva composed the Mahayana and Theravada Shastras and preached for the people. 4 or 5 li to the northwest of the city, on the banks of the Ganges, was a large monastery in which stood a stupa more than 200 feet high. Imagine how tall that is, built by King Ashoka. This was the place where the Buddhas had formerly spoken the Dharma for 3 months. Beside it was a place where 4 past Buddhas had walked up and down. Now, this is so amazing that Master Xuanzang in the Tang Dynasty, like this is like 700 AD, is finding out about things that happened in worlds past when the Buddhas came. Now, Vasubandhu, it mentions Vasubandhu. Who is that? Vasubandhu is this guy. There he is. Shi Qin Pusa. Shi Qin Pusa. He lived in the 4th century, and his life was this is a Japanese version, Vasubandhu. His life was extremely significant in keeping the Buddha's Dharma alive in India before it came to China. 这个世亲菩萨，他就把佛陀的他所讲的佛法，就到了第4世纪，把它复兴起来了。那个时候在印度已经900年了，有的人就忘了，不过他就一个人就把它复兴起来了啊。He was a monk and a scholar. He wrote commentaries on the Abhidharma, on the Sarvastivadana and Sautrantika. He converted to Mahayana with his brother Asanga, Wu Zhao Pusa, who were the main founders of the Yu Qie Heng, Yu Qie Xi Zong, the Yogacara school, which we study at Dharma Buddhist University extensively. He wrote the Abhidharma Kosha Karika, commentary to the Treasure of the Abhidharma, which in Tibetan and East Asian Buddhism is deeply revered, as well as the Mahayana. Now, interestingly, Shifu did not give us lots of teaching about the Shastra masters, but he pointed to them. He is one of the most influential thinkers in the Indian Buddhist philosophical tradition. He is associated with Nalanda University with his half-brother, Asanga. There were 17 Nalanda masters. This is where Master Xuanzang is looking to learn. Now, what did Shifu do in his 30 years of teaching? He gave us the sutras. He gave us the Buddha's voice, because in the West, didn't exist. Just a few sutras. Shifu explained over 10 Mahayana sutras and gave them to us and explained them with commentaries. But, my goodness, there were so many, he didn't do for example, the Vimalakirti, and if he had done a few more, he might have taken us into the Shastras. He pointed to the Qingyang Guoshi's 那个华严 Sutra, and he pointed to the Dazhi Du Lun, and the Bai Fa Ming Men Lun, and the Da Cheng Qi Xin Lun. He gave us a few of the shorter Shastras, but these teachers, these Nalanda masters, were the experts in what were called the Shastras, the commentaries. And for example, in Tibetan Buddhism, they pay a lot of attention to these Shastras. So did Master Xuanzang. One of the main texts that he came to India to find was the Yogacara Bhumi Shastra, which is a lun, not a jing, right? He wanted the commentary of what the great Indian masters had to say about the Buddha's sutras. Shifu gave us the sutras, but he said, in the future, we will want to look into the Shastras. So maybe that's all of you. Maybe the young people here will mature, will have learned Avatamsaka, Shurangama, Lotus Sutra, Amitabha, Restore, Medicine Buddha, and others, Vajra Sutra, Prajnaparamita, and we'll go from there into the Shastras. I hope so, because that is a treasury that Shifu left for us to explore. 就说世亲菩萨还有无照菩萨，他们是属于那兰陀大学 17个大论师啊。师父呢，他没有讲论，没有介绍论，有几个白发明门论啊，这个大乘起信论等等，还有我们华严经的华严素差。可是他说，你们将来你们自己可以读一读这个大论，然后你们愿意翻译你可以的啊。他专门用佛的声音，他要我们听佛经，不是那个佛弟子的论，这是以后的事情。你们各位年轻的出家人在家居士愿意就忙着研究这个大论呢那是你们的愿力希望你们会这样做的OK，but 就说这个宝藏我们还没有挖，还没有开了。This is a treasury of wisdom that we haven't, by and large, haven't touched yet. DRBU, yes, Dharma Buddhist University has looked into it. Okay, ready. 4 or 5 li to the northwest of the city on the banks of the Ganges was a large monastery, another 200-foot high stupa built by King Ashoka. Okay, there we go. Moving on. Gotta watch the time here. 城西南无6里，有个伽蓝，是阿僧祇菩萨说法处。菩萨夜生读史多天，于此是菩萨所授于切论、庄严大乘论、中辩分别论昼夜夏天为中说法。Okay, take a look here. 5 or 6 li to the southwest of the city was the old monastery in which Asanga Bodhisattva, that's the brother of Vasubandhu, preached the Dharma. In the night, the Bodhisattva ascended to the Tushita heaven, where he learned from Maitreya Bodhisattva the Yogacara Bhumi Shastra, the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara, and the Madhya Vibhaga Shastra. And in the daytime, he descended from the heaven to teach the Dharma to the people. Okay, now stop. Wait. Hello? Yes, Asanga Bodhisattva at night went to the heavens. That's how the story was told. How did he go? Did he go on, let's see, American Airlines? No chance. Probably Changlo, right? Probably better vegetarian food. So he didn't take an airline. He went through his samadhi at night to where the Tushita heaven, where Maitreya Bodhisattva is teaching, and learned the Yogacara Bhumi Yuche Shidi Lun. This is what Master Xuanzang was mostly after. This Shastra is so wonderful and powerful for proper cultivation. But there were 2 others, the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara and the Madhyanta Vibhaga Shastra. Then he came back down and explained it to people. So just that, you go, whoa, okay, how interesting. What a wonderful bodhisattva that he can go up to the heavens, learn these teachings, and bring them back. Okay, we're going to find out as we go that Master Xuanzang really, really paid attention to Maitreya Bodhisattva's teaching in the Yogacara Bhumi Shastra. 就是玄奘大师特别尊崇这个瑜伽师地论，可以说他到了印度是为这个论，因为这是中国没有这个正法的修行的方法在里边了，就是从弥勒菩萨在兜率天内院里边讲的，所以这个五照菩萨他能到哪里去？到了天堂去就入定，他的三昧允许他上去，真的有这么一个说法。所以玄奘大师到印度就听到这个道理就很注意了。Okay, so next week we're going to find out more about Asanga. Take a look. Here is Asanga Bodhisattva. He is known as Ujjal Pusa. He also, 4th century, one of the important spiritual figures of Mahayana. he taught at Nalanda. So we'll find out more about him. He was the half brother of Vasubandhu. What a remarkable lineage of Indian Buddhism, right? So there we go. Now, to finish up today, I'm going to put the dedication of merit on the screen. Does everybody know it by now? Can we all do it? Let's see. But I'd like to have everybody, so we're gonna do this, but I'm gonna go to have everybody turn around and we're gonna bow as we do this. Okay, so let's all 起立，面向观音菩萨，面朝后边。Okay, just a moment. And I'll leave Zoom up so the people online can bow with us. Our minds as one and radiant, share fruits of peace, with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see, our hands and hearts can find in giving unity. May our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are lone, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. How in respect to the Venerable Master, hey, that's going to be for us for tonight. I'm grateful for